Right, Likutei Moharan, Torah Chavtes. We are holding Torah Chavtes if number 9. So after we explained the two aspects of Tikkun HaMalchus, the repair, the rectification of the Malchus. One of them is the Tikkun of the Dibor, which is Malchus. And this is done through the Shevach HaTzadikim, when you praise the Tzadikim. That lifts the Moichin. And the second one is the Tikkun of the Averis, which the Averis cause a dam nida to the Malchus. They cause impurity and impure blood to the nida, kiviyachol, which causes separation between the Malchus and Zeir Anpin. It disallowed it. And through the Tikkun HaBris that elevates the Moichin, the Tikkun HaBris elevates the Moichin and rectifies that. Now we will visit a third aspect of Tikkun HaMalchus. Ze bechinas masa matan be'emuna. This is what masa matan be'emuna is. It's an aspect of that as well. Anybody who doesn't deal fairly, and he's steeped in greed, and he steals from his counterpart. And we know that money is called damim. It costs damim a lot of damim. He awakes that aspect of damim, of Pchinas Adam Lil Vushech, and dam nida. It says about that the zahavam lenida, the gold will become nida. The Maaseh, the pshat of this pasuk deals. He says that the richness of Yerushalayim will ultimately, Yerushalayim is greedy, and he said their gold will ultimately go to Avodah Zarah. The Gemara says, how do you know that Avodah Zarah is metama like nida? It brings this, zahavan nida. This nevuah actually came true when Nebuchadnezzar, Shem Rishayim Yirko, Shchik Tamim, built an Avodah Zarah that was 60 cubits high and 6 cubits wide. So it couldn't stand. So it's a longer slung. 60 cubits high and it's so narrow. So what they did, they took all the gold from Yerushalayim and poured it at its base to create a base so it will be able to hold up. This was Mekuyam, the Nevuah. That was the Avodah Zarah that he ordered everybody to bow down to. And Hanan, Mishael, and Azariah, would not bow. They threw into the fire. The whole story came on that. So they poured the gold, all the gold of Yerushalayim, to be a base for this idol. Lekayim mashenemo v'yi zahavam lanida. Their gold, will go to nida, will go to Avodah Zarah, which is metamek nida. And what's alluded is that gold, that greed, causes this kind of separation between the Kuchabrichu and the Shechina. The Dam Tote Mashma. Dam Nido through the moment is called, that's what Gezela is called Beged, as we learn, Ubeged, Boigdim, Bogdu. Before the Geula, the plunderers will come and plunder Am Yisrael. This Begam Godim, it says that there is a stain on the Godim, that Yonasan, Targum Yonasan, the translation of Yonasan, he translated Ubeged Boigdim Bogdu is Bezuzei Uvezuzei de Bezuzei. In other words, they plunder and they plunder after plunder. It's all a measure of Zuzim, of moment, Tavis moment. And this comes to basically say that the more Tavis moment a person has, it's never enough. Enough is never enough. And it says as follows. How do you rectify it? I mean, you have to make money. You have to support your family. You have to send it to Cheder. You have to, whatever it is, you have to have money. שיכוון בכל הילוך והילוך ובכל דיבור ודיבור שאוהלך ומדע ושעשה מעשה מתן. Whatever that you will mechaven, probably take it upon yourself before you start. You know, when you go to do a job, when you go to do this, when you go to do that, that you be mechaven that with every single action that you will do during this business transaction, שכווnosai שירוויח כדי שתן צדקה. Your kavana is, I will make money, so I'll be able to give tzedakah. That's the main kavana. וזה בחינת תיקון הכללי של אדם. This is the תיקון הכללי of the money, is to give tzedakah from the money. כי tzedakah הוא בחינת כלליוס הגידין. Tzedakah is equivalent to Tikkun HaKloli, to the totality of the blood vessels. בבחינת זירעו לכם לצדקה. So, for yourselves, for tzedakah. Zir'u is the union of impregnation. This is the union of planting, you know, the seed. So they said that when you give tzedakah, it's like you're planting seeds. It's like, you know, which is the union of Shmiras Habris. So that's, you see that tzedakah and in Shmiras Habris are Pchinas Zera. Pchinas Kezera God. That's what this is. What is Zera God? That's let's talk about the man, which is, that's what Am Yisrael ate in the desert. And it says, you know, that kol machal all the money of the man ultimately goes to his mouth. Everything is, that's the ultimate thing. Everything else is ultimately it adds kol. I don't remember what the pasuk is. My mind is a little bit anyhow. So this is Kezera God. This is the man is Kezera God. But the Zohar says Shu Tipa Chivarta. This is the white drop. So we found that tzedakah brings about to bring down whiteness from the moichin. Shalodei Atikon Hazeh. In other words, when you aim to give tzedakah, Yazoicha to a bchina of tzedakah, because everything goes after the kavanah. So what am I going to do? I'm going to cheat this one, not to give tzedakah. What sense does it make? If you're approaching the whole union of tzedakah, of working, of business dealing, with the munah, you know, with it that you actually want to give tzedakah, it sort of like shifts the whole union of the work into a bechina of emunah. It makes Masar Matan be'emunah. It fixes the Masar Matan. It brings it, takes it from the realm of gzelas, Pagama Bris into, of Shmiras Bris and Nisroim HaMoichin, then that elevates the Moichin. And Asad, as the Moichin says, Moicho Chiba Rekaspo, a mind that is as white as silver. In other words, that whiteness is being taken from it to all the Gidim, and this, whitens out the redness in the Gidim that comes because to have a smallman and gazela. And what this actually brings about is that his parnasa comes without hard work. The more you do it, the less hard you have to work. It says, "Ve'aman kezera gadahu." The man is like a seed of God. Chazera God, when you are zoichet to Zera God, which means a tipa levana, that you're doing your parnasa is white. It's bekashras. There's no shaychas of gezel on the man. I mean, each one got whatever was coming to him. The tzaddikim found it right next to their tents, and they were showing that to work for, but each one gathered as much as he needed. That's parnasa without toil, without terech. So we explain here that tzedakah constitutes zera gad. Zera gad. Val Shem Zeh, this is why the mischar, business dealing is called masa matan, means carrying and giving. So masa basically means, talking, dealing about the subject. Matan means giving. This is to show that in the masa matan there is a rectification to the aspect, to the union of Godim that we said before, the B'chinas Domen. Masa is what we said, Ki avonosai avru roshi kemasa kaved yichbedu mimeni. Because my sins have went over my head, kemasa kaved yichbedu mimeni. They are like a heavy load, a load that is too heavy for me. They're too heavy for me. Rabbeinu says in Torah Zayin Chelek Beis, he says that the hardest load for the Yiddish neshama to carry is the Averis. He says the Jewish neshama at the Shorish is so edel, it's so clean, it's so pure that it can't carry the Averis. It simply can't. I mean, the same pasuk, Kemasa kaved yichbedu mimeni. It's like a masa, it's like a load. So the first thing of masa matan, of business dealings, of negotiations, is called masa. The first thing is masa. This is that what? That these are the shasal lavin, the 365 prohibitions, shemisgabrin al ha'rosh, that overcome the head, shua moichin, b'fchinas lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Don't stand on your fellow's blood. As we said before, that when the bloods are overcoming they like spritz in great pressure to the moich and they press the moich. The Rebbe says this is the source of epilepsy. That the brain is under pressure. You can call it also what they call a nervous breakdown. When there's too much pressure, it cannot carry. That the damim are like a load on the moichin. The masa denotes the damage of the begodim, the staining of the clothing. The shechina, which is the begodim, is being damaged. And this says, Kemasa koved yichbedu. Kemasa koved yichbedu mimeni. Pipshat is kemasa koved, like a heavy load, yichbedu mimeni. In other words, they're too heavy for me to carry. But you have these two words are not incidental. Koved yichbedu. It talks about melech hakoved. The Shechina is the Malchus, is the Koved, and this is the Yichbedu, because we says Rabbi Yochanan called the clothing those who honor me, because the fancier the begodim, the more covered the person gets. The Koved, I know Pchinas Adomim. Koved, this is the blood She'akoved Moledam. The Koved denotes the spiritual meaning of the liver. The liver is full of blood. The liver is even begashmius, that's the organ in the body whose job is to purify the blood. Because people eat, and in the food there are a lot of toxins. They have to go through the liver, and the liver separates it. And the scientists said that to be able to do what the liver does on an industrial scale, for a single person, you have to build a whole industrial complex just for what the liver does at the speed that it does for a single person. Like a huge industrial complex. Because you have to understand, the blood just flows. It doesn't stop. So this is akin to having train cars, the freight cars, full of whatever, and in each one there's like a needle of something toxic, and the whole thing is full, and you have 1 second to identify in the whole train cart where this thing is, take it out, next cart, take it out, next train cart, take it out, next. You can imagine what kind of industrial complex it would take, to take out less than a second per train cart. The liver does that by a person. It's an unbelievable bria. That's why the liver is full with blood. It's synonymous with blood. That's why koshering liver is not, with salt is not enough, like it's enough for everything out of the meat, is not enough by a liver. The only way to kosher liver is actually to grill it, to burn it. He says, "Koved ainu pchinas dam, shakoved moledam." The koved is filled with blood. That's why koved is synonymous, is a euphemism for dam. Shupchinas dam nida kanal, that it causes the Shechina. That a person brings dam nida to the yichbedu, to the begodim. This is done through the money of gzela, of money that you took that doesn't come to you. That's the masa part of masa matan. Now we have to do to the matan part. The matan part is tikkun clothing. This is you giving. Matan is you're giving tzedakah, and it says matan adam yorchiv lay. A giving of a person will widen for him. When a person gives tzedakah, he's actually widening his chelek la'olam haba. Tzedakah is called matan. It's keshes abris. This is the rainbow of the bris, which is the tzaddik. B'fchinas, it is said by the tzaddik choinen v'noisen. The tzaddik has rachmanis and he gives. It comes to tell you that the tzaddik, which is noisen, and the tzedakah, which is also noisen. The tzaddik is a noisen, is a giver. The tzedakah makes you into a giver. So you see that tzedakah and tikkun abris is one thing, because they're all both tikkun kloli that fixes, that rectifies the dam in the gidim. That's what Chazal says, beficha zu tzedakah. Which comes to say she'az adibur mutar. Then talking is allowed. Once you give tzedakah, then it is allowed to talk. We said as long as a person did not fix the tikkun haklali, the dibur, the damim are not the way they're supposed to be, talking is forbidden. Tzedakah is b'chinas tikkun haklali. That's why the tzedakah makes it possible for the dibur, the dibur is mutar. And with this we established the third b'china of the tikkun haklali. In different places, Rabbeinu says, and maybe I think later on in here, I'm not sure, but he says that Meiser is tikkun haklali of the money.